This demon has a twisted mind. The priest is tied to the bed with wire. Hemp rope tightens around his neck. The single bed becomes a gallows. Meanwhile, the elderly spirit medium next door issues a warning.
It wants him. It needs him.
Deep in the belly of the spider.
The demon that has been dormant for 50 years emerges. Will the protagonist survive and escape? This is the horror film The Hangman. Leon, a single father, tries to mend his relationship with his son, Jesse. He plans a camping trip. Leon chooses a mountainous area, and in this place, the cell phone signal is unreliable. To prevent Jesse from playing games, Leon even allows his son to drink alcohol. Jesse suffered a trauma in his childhood. He heard his mother being shot. Jesse is actually curious about that since his mother has been dead for many years, why his father never starts dating again, and never talks about his mother. Jesse dislikes his father's evasiveness. He sees it as irresponsibility on his father's part. The father and son have a heated argument on the first night of camping. The next day, Leon wakes up and prepares breakfast. He apologizes to his son, but Jesse is not in the tent. The car has been damaged by someone. There's a necklace inside the hood. Leon searches for his son. He stops a car for help. The car's loudspeaker suddenly sounds, ordering Leon to kneel. Then, a couple steps out of the car. The man, Dino, holds a handgun. Leon explains that he means no harm. He's just looking for his son. The woman, Jane, takes down a bundle of hemp rope, intending to tie up Leon and take him away. From what they're saying, it seems they have accomplices nearby. Leon quickly escapes. Dino fires several shots towards the woods, but he doesn't hit Leon, because they still have a mission. They drive away. Meanwhile, Leon sees a figure in the woods. He takes a few steps back, but he bumps into a female corpse hanging on a tree. Leon is frightened and runs back to the road. A man named Kane passes by. He sees Leon vomiting uncontrollably, and asks if he needs assistance. Leon gets into Kane's car. Since his phone has no signal, Kane plans to take Leon to his place, to use the landline to call the police. Leon is a bit puzzled. Why don't we go directly to the police station? Kane explains that there is no police station in this mountainous area. Shortly after, the two arrive at Kane's residence. Leon notices there's another woman in the house, but she lies motionless in the dark. Kane asks Leon for details about his son's disappearance. Leon takes out the necklace. Kane is about to say something. Suddenly, the landline next to them rings. He asks Leon to step aside temporarily, saying he needs to take the call. On the other side, Dino and Jane arrive outside a house, preparing to meet up with their accomplices. Jane stays in the car and waits. Dino is responsible for negotiating inside the house. Suddenly, a rope binds his ankle. When Jane enters the house to search for someone, she discovers Dino hanging upside down from the ceiling beam, his eyes bleeding. He has already breathed his last. Jane is not surprised at all. It seems she had expected Dino to die. She takes out a necklace and holds it in her hand, chanting softly, looking at the pendant style, similar to the one Leon found in the car. Immediately after, a person in black appears. On Kane's side, he tells the mysterious person on the other end of the phone, "The person that you are looking for is found. He's here in my house right now." Leon suddenly fires a shot. It turns out, he has realized that Kane is not a good person. However, Kane says, "I just received news about your son on the phone." Although Leon claims not to believe him, he is internally shaken. Kane takes the opportunity to attack Leon and try to take away the handgun. He pushes Leon down and punches him in the face. Unexpectedly, Leon grabs a fire extinguisher, releasing a cloud of smoke. Kane randomly stabs with a dagger. He injures Leon. Leon picks up the handgun. He interrogates him about where Jesse is hiding. In order to make Kane talk, Leon fires a shot towards his palm, but Kane still doesn't speak. Leon knocks him unconscious. He takes Kane's car keys. He rescues the woman Tara, who was locked in a compartment. After Tara regains her freedom, she kills Kane. She wants to repay Leon for saving her life. She mentions a local old pastor. This person might know Jesse's whereabouts. Tara takes Leon to a front of a villa. The person opening the door is the old pastor. He is holding a hunting rifle. He looks very cautious. Leon quickly explains the purpose. Then he shows the strange necklace. The old pastor indeed recognizes the necklace. According to his explanation, there is a mysterious cult organization in these deep mountains. It originated in 1975. The organization worships the king of hell, Baal. Followers believe they can summon demons to help themselves stay forever young. These cult followers soon targeted their first sacrifice, a sick boy named Damon. Dr. Bannon and the organization convinced the boy's father to perform a ritual to cure Damon. The result was, Damon wasn't saved. He was possessed by a demon during the ritual. His soul fell into hell and became a complete monster, and gradually became the spiritual leader of the organization. These cultists like to hang up bodies as a display to demonstrate their authority. The locals called Damon the Hangman. The villagers, in order to protect their families' lives, joined forces to capture Damon and strangle him to death. They also burned the body. However, 50 years have passed. The mysterious organization has resurfaced. There are even rumors that the demonic hangman is still alive. The old pastor believes that they have taken Jesse. Leon doesn't believe this story. He thinks it's a waste of time. He borrows the pastor's landline phone to call the police. He catches a glimpse of Bannon's photo. His eyes widen instantly. The person in the photo is the customer Tom, who recommended the camping site to him. Leon immediately calls his colleague at the company, asking them to look up a customer named Tom. This person lives at the end of North Forest Street. The colleague says the company hasn't received any customer living on North Forest Street, and they can't find anyone by the name of Tom. Leon finally believes the old pastor's words. He and his son have definitely been deceived. The old pastor leads Leon to the second floor to meet the spirit medium, Esther. The old lady is blind, and at her last gasp, she grabs Leon's arm and understands his inner anxiety. Leon was about to ask about his son's whereabouts. Esther suddenly points towards the door. He's here, she says. The old pastor tells Leon to stay in the bedroom, carrying the cross. The old pastor went out to investigate. As soon as he entered the next room, the door behind him closed. The old pastor approached the closet. Suddenly, a black-clad demon jumped out from inside. He scratched the back of the old pastor's hand. He tilted his head slightly and tied up the pastor on the bed. A hemp rope tightened around the pastor's neck. On the other side, Esther told Leon, "The hangman wants your son." They are deep inside the spider's abdomen. The shape of that necklace resembles a spider web. After Esther finished speaking, she stopped breathing. Leon went to the next room to find the old pastor and discovered him hanging on the bed. Leon immediately went to untie him. With his last breath, the old pastor handed the cross to Leon.
As soon as that enters the heart of the hangman, it'll send him straight back to hell.
Leon ran back to the woods holding the cross. Before he could fully comprehend, he was injected with a needle by Jane. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in an unfamiliar room. Shortly after, Dr. Bannon appeared. This guy must be 126 years old, but he looks like he's in his 60s. It seems that the legend is true. Bannon instructed Jane to turn on the monitor. The image showed Jesse tied to a big tree. Luckily, the boy hadn't been killed yet. Dr. Bannon explained, only by helping the demon escape from hell can they achieve immortality. Now Damon's body is no longer useful. The organization must find a new owner for the demon. It enjoys a sense of brokenness and the agony of young souls, and Jesse, who witnessed his mother's murder, is the perfect candidate. Therefore, Bannon lured the two here for camping. Leon intentionally knocked over the chair and burned the hemp rope on his hands with the fireplace. However, Leon still had drugs in his system, which caused blurred vision and loss of balance. He struggled to climb up. Meanwhile, Bannon grabbed a hunting rifle. The old man enjoyed the sight of people's fear. Leon picked up a fireplace log and struck Bannon's face with it, causing him to scream in pain. Meanwhile, the demon had already taken Jesse away. Bannon laughed loudly. He was about to taunt Leon, but Tara killed him. The two returned to the Kane house to tend to their wounds. Through their conversation, we finally learned, 2 years ago, the details of Jesse's mother's murder. At that time, Leon was at a bar, having drinks and chatting with a good friend. A regular customer approached, claiming they took his seat. Leon cursed at him and chased the man away. He didn't think much of the incident, but the man had psychological issues. He entered Leon's house in the middle of the night and killed Jesse's mother. Leon, paralyzed by fear, did nothing. That's why he never talked to his son about the past. At that moment, Leon noticed a small spider crawling on the ground. He remembered the words of the old spirit medium, and the spider web necklace. Leon unfolds the map. He draws a black spider web. He roughly guesses the location referred to as the spider abdomen. On the map, Leon quickly prepares his equipment and sets off. He has already lost his wife. He cannot afford to lose his son. Leon quickly arrives at the organization's headquarters. He ambushes Jane from behind and takes away the crossbow from her hands. Leon threatens Jane to open the entrance to the base. Jane suddenly triggers a mechanism. Leon gets suspended above the pit. Jane pours gasoline on him. Jane keeps talking beside him. Leon picks up the crossbow and shoots her in the eye. Jane covers her wound and backs away. She steps on the remote control, causing Leon to sink into the deep pit. She falls into the brazier and burns to death. Leon grabs onto a protrusion on the wall and jumps to the deepest part of the pit. He instantly enters into an illusion. He not only sees Damon, but also returns to the night of his wife's murder. That night is a deep scar in Jesse's heart. The demon wants to take his soul. Leon hears his son's plea for help, but he can't pass through the walls. He can only have a conversation with Jesse. Leon apologizes for his years of avoidance. He only wants to awaken Jesse's consciousness. Unexpectedly, it actually works. Jesse regains consciousness in the last second and successfully escapes the illusion. Leon also returns to the surface. He finds Dino's car. He loudly insults the hangman through the horn, hoping to lure him out.
That's about right.
Leon is dragged into the warehouse by the hangman. The two finally face each other. Leon tightly grips the knife in his hand, preparing for the battle. The hangman moves his finger. Leon's ankle is bound with a hemp rope. Leon spreads his legs wide and slides towards a chainsaw. In a critical moment, he takes out a dagger and cuts the rope and successfully escapes. But the hangman relentlessly pursues him and suspends him by his hands. At that moment, Jesse's voice comes from outside. The hangman gives up on Leon and goes after Jesse. The boy is about to be caught. Leon drives a car and rushes over. He crashes into the hangman. He crawls out of the overturned car. He intentionally mentions Damon's name to attract the demon's attention. Then he takes the opportunity to stab the demon with a cross into its heart. The sky and earth instantly turn red. As the old priest said, the demon indeed falls back into hell again. In the end, Leon and his son reconcile. The movie ends here. It's a low-budget film. The suspenseful atmosphere in the first half is well done. The cult awakening the demon, in pursuit of eternal youth as the setting, is quite innovative. Perhaps due to budget constraints, the demon is dressed in a black robe throughout. There are no stunning fight scenes. The final counter kill is somewhat rushed. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe to my channel.